Life shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to you, and welcome to the Join Up Dots podcast. We talk, you listen, life changes, and everything is good in the world. Well, we had an email. This week, and we get lots of emails, but this one really jumped out at me. And I thought, yeah, this guy has nailed this. He's on the journey to where he wants to be, and he should be. And he's now questioning certain things that he has been told, certain wisdom that he believed in, and the kind of stuff that is just almost like common myth, really. And his name's Scott. And I'll tell you what he said, because we should really reflect in this, because this is key. And as I say, as soon as I read this, I thought, he has got this, and this is where we should all be heading. He said, I'm coming to the conclusion that the well-being aspects of life are key. Maybe my recollections aren't accurate, but when I look back, I think the message given to me as a young person was work hard at school, get a degree, get a career, keep working, and the rest will take care of itself. And I can promise you, Scott, I had that as well, so I'm sure your recollections are crystal clear. That's what we got told. Get your head down, do the work, don't cause trouble, and your life will just sort of magically happen around you. He says, I'm now wondering if the message should have been to look after yourself mentally and physically, and the rest will take care of itself. Maybe there's more to it. I'm still learning to explore different approaches to challenge what I thought was true. Well, when I read that, I thought to myself, Scott, round of applause, sir, because you're now at that point that so many people at the beginning of Join Up Dots used to tell me, and I couldn't see it. I've said this before, but they all used to say they'd wake up in the morning and they'd do 15 minutes stretching, and then they do a gratitude journal, and then they would plan their targets for the day, and it was all that sort of mental aspect that I wasn't ready to hear. I was still in the you do as much work as you possibly can and then fall to bed exhausted until you get up again the next day and do it. And if you outwork every single other person, then you're going to get the success you deserve. It doesn't work that way. And what actually happens is, if we're not looking at our mental and physical health as the pillars of success, then things go a bit wonky and we lose clarity, we hit burnout, the work that we produce is crap, our relationships fall to pieces. So we really have to look at this. So this reflection that Scott's had on the importance of well-being in life, it just touches on a profound and increasingly recognised truth. People are actually starting to realise that the traditional story that we've had of hard work, education and career success is wrong. And it overlooks the critical aspects of mental and physical health, which are foundational to overall well-being. So if we break it into two, first of all, if we think about mental and physical health, okay, the mental health, certainly as I was growing up, never mentioned. Physical health was, we used to have to do PE and we used to do cross country and running and all that kind of stuff. And but the mental side, it just wasn't there. But I think it's fundamental to how we think, we feel, and we act as well. It affects our ability to handle stress. It certainly affects our ability to relate to others. And when it comes to making decisions, if you've got crystal clear, just free brain power, the decisions are better. Everything that I've done through Join Up Dots and my businesses literally come to me when I'm doing something else. I might be mowing the lawn. I might be going for a walk. It's never got anything to do with me being at actually at my desk working like I used to think. And by prioritizing that mental health aspect of how much can you give yourself the free time, the fresh air, the walks in the nature, it leads to better productivity, creativity, relationships. You're just a happier person. So I think what Scott's saying is absolutely right, and we should be focusing in on our mental health before anything else. And if our mental health and our physical health is good, then we're generally going to feel better. We're going to feel more confident. We're going to feel happier. We're not going to feel so slumpy, and we'll be able to move away from that work-life balance that everybody wants to have, and actually allow work to fit into the life. And I think that's the key thing. Work-life balance doesn't exist. You can't have 50-50, because if you get to a point where you're doing what you really want to do, then is it work anymore? Have you stopped working? Or you're still earning money, you're still doing stuff, but it then becomes your life. I had a conversation the other day, and somebody said to me, when are you going to retire? And I said, retire from what? And they said, well, you're 54 now, and so you're going to be 55 next year. Surely you should be looking at it to sort of walk away from it. And I said, but everything I do, I kind of enjoy. It's like a hobby. If I'm not doing it, I'm still doing it. So what's the point in retiring? And I think musicians are like that. When you see people like Paul McCartney and stuff in his 80s and he's still touring and stuff, it's just because it's not his work, it's his life. It's just what he does, And so that's where we've got to head. We've got to head to that point where the interconnectedness of well-being means that we can balance that long-term sustainability in professional and personal life. We can move it ever closer to a point where it's just what we do. We wake up, we earn money, we have a happy time, we have a free time, and we can do whatever we want. Now, it's easy to say that because I've gone through that journey and I know it's absolutely true. But when you're at the beginning, I can totally understand that you want to earn big money, you want to be more successful than everybody else, you want to have all these things that provide financial stability. And it is true, financial stability does provide you with happiness, contentment, and peace of mind, but it's not necessarily what success is about. Success isn't about a big bank balance if you're then really miserable. It's not about a big bank balance if your wife leaves you because you're working all the time and she's not seeing you. It's got to be this kind of hybrid approach of quality of life, being there for the people that you love most of all, and reevaluating what success means to you. So with Scott, I think what Scott is reaching out for, he's reaching out for that work is something that he has to do. And what he's moving towards is, how can I do this but feel better in myself? And I think that we've all got to start by going, what is our success? What do we really want? Do we want all that money if we are then not seeing anybody because all we're doing is working? There was a football player on the website the other day, and he played for Real Madrid or something. And so he's very good and he earns a lot of money. And he said, there's no point in earning all this money. He said, I never have a moment to spend it. He said, I'm either training or I'm traveling or I'm doing interviews or I'm playing or I'm training. It's just a constant grind. And he's saying that money stops being the end game once you've paid your bills, once you get past that survival point, once you're actually free to be away from the strains of supporting yourself. Money isn't important. So how do we change that? How do we change that mindset for thinking that that is what success is, if actually all these people that have all the money in the world actually say, no, it's great to have it. It means that I can pay the bills, put the heating on and all that kind of stuff. But it's not actually what success is all about. And I think the way that we do this is just that we've got to bring this self-reflection and mindfulness in. We've got to actually stop every now and again and actually think about ourselves and think about how we can stay in tune with our mental and physical health. I think we need to be able to get off the rat race and just give ourselves a breather and think about ourselves and stop and think about where we're heading and whether it's something that we want to be heading towards, and will it make us happy? About 3 years ago, I was on a path and I suddenly realised to myself, I thought, if I end up here, this isn't going to be good. I was working hard towards something and I thought to myself, this isn't what I want to be. I want to be a different life. And the life wasn't about money. It was all about just experiencing life. It's about being free. It's about having no clients. It's having no connections. It's just that ability to separate myself from everything and live life on my own terms. Now, that's got nothing to do with money. That's got nothing to do with anything else other than realizing what's most important to me and then bringing that every day into my life, which then means that my mental health is better because I feel like I'm working towards my happy place. And then it's a win-win-win. So I do think that Scott is absolutely right at the beginning that this myth that we have that we should work hard at school, get a degree, get a career, keep working and the rest will take care of itself. I think that ultimately what we should do is think about where our ultimate happy place is and what can we do to bring that into our life more often than not. And it might be the case that you really enjoy playing squash. So instead of going, oh, I haven't got time, think to yourself, no, I'm going to prioritise this. I'm going to bring it into my health, into my life, and it will help me in that way. Whatever's important to you has to be the message that we need to get out. It's not a message of just working. It's about being right for yourself, whatever you want. And if you're feeling slumpy and stuff, it's always an indication that you're on the wrong track. And if you're feeling really bouncy and enthusiastic and stuff, that's that you're on the right track. It's life's compass. Excitement shows you the way. So Scott, thank you so much for sending that through. And I'm going to spend the next couple of days actually assessing where I am at the moment, because I've passed the point where the survival, pay your bills and everything is there. I'm totally financially free now. So where do I need to be to feel even better? And I thank you for pointing that out. And for everybody else out there, think about it. Are you just working, thinking that it's going to take care of itself? Or are you actually working on yourself and helping yourself mentally and physically? Because if you're not, the quality of what you're doing will not be good enough. I promise you. It's always win your inner game and then you win your outer game. So thank you so much for Scott. And Scott, if I'm ever down in your neck of the woods, I will buy you a pasty and a shandy or whatever. And for everybody else dropping us lines, thank you so much, because I love reading them and I love to know that our content is helping you think in a different way and move forward. And until next time, we'll see you again. You look after yourselves, you stay sexy, of course, and we'll see ya. Cheers, see ya, bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. Join up dots, join up dots, join up dots, join up dots. Join up dots.